Logitech G are at Gamescom 2019 showing off the brand new G915 LIGHTSPEED. Here's everything you need to know. It's been an amazing year for Logitech G in terms of exciting new releases, and it's a trend that continues at this year's Gamescom. We talked to Logitech G's Mark Starrett, who took us into the creative process behind their gorgeous new keyboard.
Hi, I'm Mark Starrett. I'm a global product manager for Logitech G, which is our gaming group. And I'm here today to talk about our newest keyboard, which is the G915 LIGHTSPEED RGB mechanical keyboard. Very excited to be here today. It's our first wireless RGB mechanical keyboard. It's also a very low profile keyboard. It uses the new GL switch, which is half the height of a standard mechanical switch, which lets the keyboard be only 22 millimeters thick. So it sits just flat down on your table, feels great, you don't need a palm rest.
But of course, it wouldn't be a Logitech G mechanical keyboard without a choice of switch options. Mark gives us all the details.
Everybody uses a keyboard in their office that's very low and slim, but then they go to gaming and they don't want to give up the performance of a mechanical switch, so they use those big, tall keyboards. Well, we found a switch, we built it into a keyboard that optimizes every millimeter so that whole keyboard is as flat and low as possible, so you get the best of both worlds. So it's low profile and it's high performance. The GL switch comes in three options. It has a clicky, which would be like a GX Blue. It has a tactile feel, which is a brown switch. And it also has a linear switch, the red switch. If you like the noise, the clicky is really great. If you like the feel but not the noise, you get the tactile. And if you're someone who just likes the smooth, light touch of a linear keyboard, we have that too. When I took this switch to our design team, I said, this switch will allow us to make a lower keyboard than any other keyboard. I want to celebrate that. I want to, in the hot rod terms, I want to slam this keyboard to the table. I want as the minimum anything that's in there, and I want it to look as beautiful as possible. So our design team, which is an in-house design team, designed this down to be super thin, super clean. It uses an aluminum magnesium alloy top cover that's just really brushed beautiful. So one of the things we did with G915 keycaps is we always build there's a three-step paint process. We paint them, we laser etch them, and then they're coated with a UV coating to make them wear-proof. Well, this coating is a special coating we haven't used on a keyboard before. It's an oleophobic coating, and that means that's like fingerprint resistant and skin oils resistant. Because this keyboard is so beautiful, we want it to stay beautiful for a long period of time. And it's hard to leave a fingerprint on it, and eventually when you play with it and use it for a long time, if you do, microfiber rubs them right off. So it stays cleaner, not shiny for much longer. The bottom case, if you were to open it, which is really hard, you open it up and look in there, you'll actually see reliefs in the plastic for places on the circuit board where capacitors and resistors and circuits pop up, so that every millimeter can be taken out. There's no air, it's just super tight, and the ending result is just a keyboard that's just thin and beautiful. It's shorter than a dime. It's literally half the height of a keyboard before.
So it's thin and it's beautiful, but there's even more. It's also the first RGB keyboard to use LIGHTSPEED wireless technology.
Well, LIGHTSPEED in the G915 is really great. It gives the keyboard 1 millisecond response rate, and so you plug it in with its receiver, and you connect it 1 millisecond, which is the same speed that our mice do. So there's really no difference in signal from a competitor's wired keyboard. So you can go wireless with no risk of lag. One of the other risks or concerns about wireless and LIGHTSPEED is battery life. So although this is an RGB keyboard that lights up and lights every key, it will go 30 hours, run to die, fully lit on like white with that before it runs down. And that translates to our users in about 1 to 2 weeks of normal gaming and play use before you need to charge it again. So you really don't think about it. There's no anxiety about power risk while you're playing or streaming or doing whatever you do. And even when the warning light comes on, that means you have 15%, which means probably another 5 hours of play solid before you need to charge it. So it works great.
Logitech G works with every element of the gaming community. Mark explains how the G915 LIGHTSPEED has been made with and for people who love games.
We did not talk to pros about this keyboard, although I've shown it to them in the last few weeks and they're like, I want one of these. But we basically went to our core gamer users that have been using our other keyboards and our competitors' keyboards, and we did a lot of in-house testing as well in every phase of development of this keyboard, from initial design concepts to prototypes to final versions.
And finally, as you can probably tell, G915 LIGHTSPEED is a labour of love for Mark. Here's why he's so invested.
This is a keyboard that I'm very attached to and very proud of, because this is almost a total time 6-year journey. The initial discovery of the switch, working with Kaiwa before it was patented or finished in prototype form, I personally just said, I have to make this keyboard. We got started on this project early in 2016 with our first designs. We were doing testing in 2017, and then really after we got into the prototype process, nearly 2 years of perfecting keycap surfaces, just many minor details, things in the firmware, optimizing the battery life. But the end result is spectacular. I mean, my wish was for 12 hours of charge. When we got it, the engineers came back, they squeezed out 24. By the time we got there, we're actually beyond the 30 we claim. So it's been great. I've 23 years in this business, over 15 making gaming keyboards, and this is my favorite. I don't know how I'm going to top it. It's just my favorite keyboard ever. It's like I feel like I've made something that's going to change the way you play for the better.
So there you go. Thanks to Mark for taking the time to talk to us, and don't forget to hit the link in the description for more info about G915 LIGHTSPEED.